Hi, welcome to Bring the Family Together. I'm Dawn Kyle, along with my husband Tony Kyle, and we're here. You can't do it that way.
Okay.
You can't be like
Okay.
You got like a big boogie. Hi, welcome to Bring the Family Together. I'm Dawn Kyle, along with my husband Tony Kyle, and we are here to talk about parenting key number 2. It is be a disciplined parent. Communicate, communicate, communicate. We live as parents today in 3 different worlds, it seems like. And Tony, if you'd like to expand about the 3 worlds, that would be just wonderful.
Well, I would like to expound upon those 3 worlds. You know, what Dawn's talking about in the 3 worlds is there's the world of the husband, a world of the wife, and then the world of the husband and wife with the family. And even if you're a single parent, you probably have a friend or friends that equate to that other world with, which would be where your spouse would be. So, and I think, Dawn, one of the easiest ways to explain this is talk about before you're married. Because when you meet, you've got your friends as a spouse, and then your spouse has their friends. You're not married yet, and you might still do things separately. In a lot of marriages today, people continue to do those things separately. And even today's psychologists even promote that you go out and do things with the girls, and the guys go out and do things with the guys. But Dawn and I are here to tell you, in coaching and counseling families, that usually isn't a helpful thing that happens. And there's a lot of reasons for that.
And the number one is it kind of creates a wedge for your communication, and that's what the parenting key is all about. It's about communication.
Absolutely, because what you think is just a good release, and you know he needs to go out with his guy friends and get all that out of him, or she needs to go out with the girlfriends and get all that out of them. But what happens is they end up communicating to their guy and girlfriends things they should be communicating to you with. In other words, you know, and Dawn and I kind of have an example of this. She wasn't as like this like I was after we got married, but I was always on the phone with my friends that I had, you know, my college friends and even some old high school friends. So I would always be on the phone, and that was back in the day before phones. You know, it was really expensive to make long distance calls. A lot of my friends didn't live nearby, my older friends, and we'd have some pretty big phone bills. But beyond that, even more of an impact in our phone bills was the fact that I wasn't communicating with Dawn, that I was talking to my friends and even complaining about Dawn to my friends, and then the things that were really important I would share with them rather than sharing them with Dawn. And so we've lived that part of it. So right now you might be the one in the relationship that's doing that, or it might be your spouse that has that habit, but you're living in those separate worlds. And then what happens is we would come together, Dawn and I would come together when it came to our children, and it looked pretty good. I mean, from the outside in, it looked really good, like we were on the same page and that we were communicating, but there was something missing.
Yeah, I think the wedge that comes between the husband and wife in the communication part, it would show through the children, because even though we were on the same page with the children, we weren't communicating in other areas.
Right, and then they would mirror our habits.
Exactly.
So if Dawn and I weren't communicating, so we were arguing over something because we didn't communicate about it, something we should have communicated, something I probably communicated with my guy friends, then they'll react to that. That's a great point, Dawn. So, you know, in other words, even if you think you have control of those worlds, you probably don't. And what usually happens, unfortunately, with most relationships is it takes something pretty critical for them to break free of those worlds. And let me be very clear here. You know, we know a lot of you might go, like the husbands, y'all might go to guy retreats or, you know, men retreats, and the women might even go to women retreats. And that always on the surface seems like a really good thing to do. Like you're going to go out and spend that time and, you know, with other women or other men and enjoy yourself and learn and relate to each other. But unfortunately, when you come back from that, and we kind of joke in our programs that, you know, let's say you're the husband and you go off to your men's retreat, and then you come back after 2 days all exhilarated and full of energy and excited and want to share that with the family, and your wife is standing there going, well, let me just tell you what happened while you were gone and everything we got to do now, and I'm glad you went off on your retreat and had a great time, but we needed some help here. We really needed you here. And so as much as you're inspired to share, you weren't there. And then the same with the wife. And then the biggest thing is that when, as a couple, as a married couple, when you don't go experience these things together at the same time, then you have your filters, your communication filters, filter in the information so that when you share it, it's not always the same experience. In other words, when Dawn and I go to something together and we experience it together, then when we share it, it's much more closer to what it really was. But if I go to something by myself and come back and try to share it with Dawn, I've kind of attached my own filter to it, and she might not have had that same experience or understood it the same way had she been there. So you really need to understand as a couple, just like therapy, you need to be going together. You need to be doing that together. And I know that kind of goes against a lot of the world psychology out there, but we've experienced this and we've seen how it continually drives a wedge, like Dawn said, in your relationship. It's kind of like separate bank accounts. Everyone thinks that's a great idea and you should have your money and he should have his money. But I'll tell you, we have seen that really blow up in couples' faces, haven't we? I mean, that turns out to be a real negative. Oh, he spent my money, or you went off and did yours. It's almost like, you're all thinking if the relationship fails, I got a way out, by having that separate bank account or those separate funds. And let me tell you, when you do have a difficult time in your experience with your husband or wife, most of your friends who you think are friends, and they'll stand by you and your side, won't promote you staying together, even when you really should be. I hope you understand that.
And you can find all of this in our guide to parenting.
Absolutely. That guide is a downloadable guide. That's what's so neat, is that you can just go on right now and purchase that. And when you do, it becomes, I think, a PDF form, and you can download it right away to your computer. That's got our book in it, Your Child is Already a Genius, Free Their Spirit. It has 4 weeks, a whole month of parenting exercises, which are wonderful. Really opens up not only your communication between you and your husband or wife, but really opens up the way you communicate with your children. That's powerful. And it's got our top 7 keys in there to parenting, which is very, very important. Some of the stuff that we're sharing now, but in more detail. So you really want to get that. And we always say you want to get that before you even get our DVDs and CDs, because that really sets the stage for the rest of the resources that we have. And that's all on our website at www.bringthefamilytogether.com. You want to check that out. We're really excited about that. And we just want to thank you again for letting us share with you. Today it was about communicate, the discipline of a communicative parent and spouse, leaving those 3 separate worlds and being in the one world that's been created as your family. And you walk in those blessings that are in that world. And Dawn and I just thank you for being part of it. God bless you and have an awesome day.